Imagine that. Having open borders for so long could potentially lead to copycat attacks, and now stupid-ass Christopher Wray's coming out and saying that, oh, there's a potential for terror threats against Americans. Are you going to end up doing the exact same thing by pocketing that information in order to let something catastrophic happen? Can't say if that happened recently or not, obviously. Oh, wait, no, actually, 100%. We're just finding out now that Hamas had been planning these attacks for Israel for 2 years. Oh, 2 years, huh? Senior Hamas officials have been blatantly said that they were being funded by Iran, and now they want to leverage a prisoner swap with Biden for more cash. He has already been precedented doing that with Iran in August. Hamas waited to see Joe Biden's weakness for the abysmal Afghanistan pullout before they plan their ambush on Israel. Joe Biden's failures in Afghanistan paved the way for more tragedy in Israel. You cannot have one without the other. Yeah, but don't mention at all, what precipitated that stuff. Who stormed the mosque, after all, on October 5th? But we don't talk about that now, do we? The head of the FBI is ominously warning there is a rising number of terror threats against the United States. Well, fucking do something about it. Make sure that it doesn't end up happening. But no, we know what they are doing. Anyways, and that the biggest concern involves potential lone wolves pulling off Hamas copycat attacks here. Agency Chief Christopher Wray, 56, urged law enforcement to be extra cautious about the ripple effects of the raging Israeli-Palestinian conflict during the address at the International Association of Chiefs of Police annual conference in San Diego on Saturday. History has been witness to anti-Semitic and other forms of violent extremism for far too long, he said, according to an FBI transcript. We remain committed to continue confronting those threats. Those threats, by just go out there and interchangeably using Palestinian and pro-Hamas protesters. Strange. Have you guys also been noticing that verbiage change, that vocabulary switcheroo with a lot of this reporting? In this heightened environment, there's no question we're seeing an increase in reported threats. Yeah, do something about it. Or, given the fact that we're seeing all of this warmongering, are we just going to go back to the early 2000s where, oh yeah, there's a credible threat, what are we going to do about it? Never let a crisis go to waste. And we've got to be on the lookout, especially for lone actors who may take inspiration from recent events to commit violence of their own. Wray's warning comes a day after Hamas chief Khalid Mashal designated a day of jihad on October 13th. And what ended up happening? After that? Yeah, there were peaceful protests by people that just don't want to end up seeing a whole bunch of atrocities committed in Gaza and eventually spill over to the West Bank. Like, we all know that's exactly what's going to be happening, right? Like, you see reports of that stuff, and stupid people that are out there cheering on, some uncorroborated report. Oh, there's a pizza shop owner in the West Bank who was mocking a Holocaust survivor on social media, so as recompense, the IDF decided to bulldoze her establishment. Seems like a equal trade-off, right? Unfucking believable. And there are so many people that continue to cheer this on. It makes me sick to my stomach, but not surprised at all. But hundreds call for Palestinian rights and dignity to be respected at a rally on Long Island. Yeah, exactly. Because, I've showed you guys some protests that were going on yesterday, for as much as they want to say, oh, look at all of these pro-Hamas, just a bunch of sympathizers that are taking to the street screaming, free Palestine. Oh, but somewhere in there, they could also be shown having a Taliban flag, but they're also covering their face and have a strange Fed-like visage that they're cutting. And then also, oh, see, one of them, I thought I heard death to all Jews. I thought I heard that over there. It's like, come on. There are people with family members or just, a pair of eyes that can see what's going on over there, realizing that, Israel is depriving 2 million people of water, electricity, fuel, food, and now internet. They're effectively blacking them out and trying to knock them off. For what reason? Oh, because we're going after Hamas. Great. Go after the government. If you've got this sophisticated intelligence agency that you claim to have, you should be able to find out exactly where they're at. Gaza's not a very big place, and the fact that 2 million people are in there is amazing. And the fact that you think that you can just go ahead and wipe out the northern half of it while just condensing those people even further, because you've leveled everything. You've destroyed their homes. You've killed off how many hundreds of children? You expect them to just move back in there and everything is just going to be all hunky-dory? No, man. If people are actually paying attention to this stuff, they're going to look around and go, yeah, can we just solve this? Can we just leave this shit alone? That'd be great. Protesters quietly observed the afternoon call to prayer in the grass outside Nassau County Executive Building in Mineola before listening to speeches about the abysmal conditions inside the besieged Gaza Strip. This is about the most fair reporting I've seen on this so far. What's happening? Okay, I get a little bit concerned when I start to see honest reporting like this start to pop out. At this time, hospitals in Gaza have no electricity, no light, or no aid. Yeah, but it's fine because Israel warned them that they're going to be attacking in a couple of days and gave them heads up to just get out of that hospital because they need to attack it. Dr. Isma Chaudhry, a Long Island doctor and interfaith advocate who spoke at the rally, told the Post, "Human rights and dignity need to be respected. The Israeli military has launched intense strikes against Gaza, where 2.2 million people who live there, since Hamas gunmen launched a devastating attack on Israel on October 7th. Isn't it a systematic attack targeting civilians? Isn't that the language that we... Oh, unprecedented attack. That's what it used to be. But now we're changing a little bit. We don't hate Israelis. Ayman Elo, yeah, a 52-year-old Seacliff resident who was born in the West Bank, told the Post, "We don't hate Jews. I lived in Tel Aviv. I speak Hebrew. I have friends in Israel." Yeah, which... Guess what? That's where a lot of people are at on this one. Hate terrorists, don't hate specific groups. I would consider myself very much a part of that group. People who are afflicting terror. I don't care what fucking banner that you're holding. If you're killing innocent people, I consider you worthy of criticism. That's why I show everything from both sides here. Many carried Palestinian flags and signs with slogans such as "I stand with Palestine" and "The world is watching." Rally was organized by Muslim community of Nassau County and the Islamic Circle of North Africa and attracted many whose relatives remain overseas. "My family has no access to water, electricity, food, or medicine because the Israeli blockade," Najil Al-Tamani Khas, a Gaza-born New Yorker, told the Post. Which, yeah, we would normally consider that a war crime, but don't worry about it. Stand with Israel. Afterwards, organizers gave out water bottles and samosas, a pastry-wrapped, potato-filled South Asian delicacy, or shit that you can go to the gas station and buy for like 2 for $5. Hilo, who has lived in the United States for nearly 20 years, told the Post that he dreamed of peace in the Palestinian territories for his entire adult life. Yeah, and there was a very strong point in time where that could have definitely been achieved, but Israel really, well, guess what? They're just very stuck in their ways. We can just go ahead and say that right now. There's too much pain, he said. "I feel like we're about to leave this earth without seeing the dream I grew up with." Exactly, man. And you know what? Most common people, are kind of on the side of those protesters right there. The guys that are just out there going, can we just stop with the human rights abuses? Can we just stop with the atrocities being committed? NFL silence. Okay, so the NFL was trying to do something right here. Okay, they really thought that they were doing something. NFL silence for Israel Hamas victims is marred by a free Palestine chants ahead of Ravens and Titans game in London. They really thought they had something right there by just, we need to have a moment of silence for all of those who have passed right now because we're right here. We're taking a neutral stance. Most people, if they know and understand the facts and have done a little bit of digging instead of just buying the propaganda wholesale. I'm not trying to say that I am some learned scholar on all of this stuff. I'm learning a lot as the days go on. When it comes to this specific conflict, it really doesn't seem like what is common knowledge that's out there as to what instigated all this stuff. And trying to back stuff up on the fly, it's not really working all that well, at least for the mass media outlets reporting it, and the people are on the side of peace. I think that's what ends up running afoul of the government and of the media, because then you end up getting the government just simply admitting, John Kirby admits the funding for Ukraine is coming to the end of the rope. It appears the U.S. is diverting their funding away from Ukraine, and Biden regime has quietly accepted that Ukraine is a lost cause. Looks like Israel was the off-ramp they needed. And with the speaker vote, it looks like Jim Jordan, if he can officially get the nomination, they're heading for a vote inside of the House on Tuesday. I think I'm seeing a soft date put forward to that just so that everybody can come together together and just go, yes, we need to stand with our ally. That's why we're not seeing a lot of reporting, at least at time of recording, of anything really happening today. Everybody's just kind of at a standstill, mostly because the weather that's over there right now. So if you hear any reports of, oh my god, the water got turned on the south side of Gaza, it's fucking storming there right now. So yeah, any water that's being turned on is by the sky. So yeah, I anticipate things over there getting hot and heavy. Maybe tomorrow, maybe on Tuesday, something like that. Probably on Tuesday, given the fact that they already outed that the speaker's decision is going to be made on Tuesday. So, yeah, if we can just go ahead and, get somebody in charge, we can go ahead and with all of that funding that Ukraine was getting, we could just go ahead and divert those funds and move them over to Israel so we can get the old band back together in the Middle East. And as we're sitting right now, yeah, all of that propaganda, they so desperately, because it's so strange. It's so strange. Normally, the whole Free Palestine movement, okay, whenever it just pops up, it's always propped up by a bunch of fucking weirdos, okay? I think we can honestly say that. You got your Black Lives Matter, the Alphabet Mafia trying to prop that up like, hey guys, we've got a shared cause. It's like, you did absolutely fucking not. You'd normally want to separate yourself from that, but the Palestinians that are actually over there, they're just trying to stay alive in so much as worrying about what a bunch of weirdos in the Anglosphere are trying to do in order to co-opt their cause. So you have the media working in overdrive that, oh my god, you guys remember those brown people from 20 years ago? They're out there and they're going to try to kill you again. So then you get these unstable motherfuckers where, oh my god, the FBI's warning, ooh, terror attacks are going to end up happening. You just didn't anticipate this one happening. Illinois man stabbed a 6-year-old Muslim boy 26 times in a hate crime motivated by Israel-Hamas war. According to the police, you can't get it any more black and white, and you aren't going to hear fucking word one about this shit because, yeah, just look, man. Okay, oh, you got a pretty girl. Oh, she dead. Okay, the FBI warning about the terror crime. I got that one up there at the beginning, and then you go, oh, Walmart. I think an old crazy man stabbing a 6-year-old is probably front page news, and especially normally, like it's a white guy. Oh, he's stabbing a brown kid? Oh my god, that should just be page 1, but oh, his motives don't quite line up with the media now, do they? Police charged a 71-year-old suburban Chicago man Sunday with a hate crime for fatally stabbing a 6-year-old boy and seriously wounding a 32-year-old woman, alleging he singled out both victims because of their Islamic faith and in response to the war between Israel and Hamas. Detectives were able to determine that both victims in this brutal attack were targeted by the suspect due to them being Muslim and the ongoing Middle Eastern conflict involving Hamas and the Israelis. Will County Sheriff's Office said in a statement posted to social media. The stabbing suspect was identified as Joseph M. Sabuza, 71. Officers found both victims late Saturday morning at a home in an unincorporated area of Plainfield Township, roughly 40 miles, 65 kilometers southwest of Chicago. The boy, who was pronounced dead at the hospital, was stabbed 26 times with a large military-style knife. According to the autopsy Sunday, the woman had more than a dozen stab wounds on her body. She remained hospitalized Sunday, but is expected to survive. Well, thank God on that one. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the high road when it comes to this one. This piece of shit, don't even save fucking cot space for this old crap, okay? You can go ahead and you can finish that thought process and you can walk it all the way down to its logical conclusion. Don't even waste the space on him, okay? Because there's a young kid that's dead for what? His immutable characteristics. His parents' religious faith. His mom's life has been irreparably changed. Why? Because somebody got caught up in the propaganda. And guess what? I'm not going to chalk it up to just an entire group of people. I'm going to chalk it up to that one crazy motherfucker. And you know what you do with that? You deal with the crazy motherfuckers instead of just going in. You know what would be an analogous punishment for this? Okay, he lives in a suburb of Chicago. Okay, cool. He ended up committing a terrorist attack. You can go ahead and say, trying to kill a kid, probably a terrorist attack. We're going to go ahead and we're going to bomb, the suburb that he lives in because we need to make sure that something like that doesn't happen again. No, abso-fucking-lutely not. You deal with the psychopaths that present themselves. You go and you find them. You use the intelligence at the ready to fucking deal with these people. That's what you do with this stuff, man. You don't just describe group blame when a bunch of radicals end up taking innocent lives. That's all I've been fighting for over these past few days, okay? And I understand it's not popular with a lot of people. Most of my audience, I would argue, okay, I can kind of tell, not by the likes and dislikes on the videos that I do specifically on this type of stuff, but just by the sub count. And you know, I'm not really all that plussed by the sub count, but there are certain metrics that you can tell when your audience doesn't appreciate the videos that you do. I understand, because overwhelmingly so, people, if they're choosing a side, which, you know, to be completely fair, I can see both sides of this argument. It's just, I think one side lacks the requisite information and the other one is just going because, well, everybody else is going one direction. But that's fine, man. You can have your opinions. We can have conversations if you want to be honest about it. I'm totally fine with that stuff. But for the most part, you guys aren't really liking it over on YouTube. On Rumble, shit is fucking blasting off to the moon. Great value, or not great value, sorry. Well, it is great value. I do like and, you know, have a lot of appreciation for the work that I do. But the views and the people over there, you guys really like that stuff. So that's going to continue. And if this conflict does start to bubble up a little bit hotter, instead of trying to censor any of the coverage, like sometimes, you know, I have to cover up some of the pictures, move some stuff around, dance around some of the issues. Not like, you know, that's a joke that, you know, we could tell eventually when I want to implement something else. And here's what I'm thinking. I might do a community post on it, but this is what I'm going to be doing moving forward, because I think that this would be the best way, because I just want to tell the truth, man. Okay, if we get to the bottom of this stuff and it turns out that everything that I've been reporting on so far turns out to be a total lie, I'm more than willing to take accountability for what I'm saying, walk it all back, and just simply report the truth, because that's the only thing. That's the only side that I'm taking. The honest fucking truth. I don't hate any party that's involved except for the terrorists that are there. But in being adherent to the truth, I want to be able to present all of the facts as I see them in real time and share with you guys. So moving forward, and also at the prompt of somebody who actually reached out to me recently, okay? I'm not going to name them or anything like that. They know who they are, and I've been in close communications with them. Just know that it's actually a pretty big name in the sphere who knows a lot of this stuff, and it was actually very shocking and very humbling to have them reach out to me, because I really, really, really respect their work. And also mentioning that, you know what, walking that tightrope over on YouTube, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. And I do agree. I've been saying this for a long time, that in the ramp up to 2024, a lot of the stuff that we're talking about right now might end up being retroactively used against us. That's why I don't want to delve too deeply into what happened in 2020 in order to, you know, elaborate on what could potentially happen with 2024 in regards to the election. If there's going to be anything else going on that could potentially mess around with 2024, as with what happened with 2020, see why I'm dancing around all this stuff, because I don't know what's going to retroactively be used to bite me in the ass. As somebody who survived 15 odd strikes, hopefully end up making it through with the few that I accrued right now, which hopefully are going to work its way off. But I know that my time, and many of the people that talk the type of things that I do over on YouTube, our time is short. It is definitely running out. There's not a lot of sand left in that hourglass. So whenever I want to do something controversial, like continuing to report on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, I think I might end up putting up a little bit of a trailer, just detailing what we're going to be discussing, and then throw it over to the full uncut, uncensored video that will be going up exclusively on Rumble, because you guys are more receptive to it over there. We can go and we can show all of the uncensored pictures, videos that are going to be over there. Shout out to Rumble, great program, but I think that or a platform rather, but I think that that'll be probably the more beneficial for everybody, for the information, for the health of my channel, because Christ almighty, I'm not looking to get wiped off the platform, okay? I might live on the north end of my town, but I don't also want to get, you know, wiped off like the north end of a certain part of the world as well. I want to be able to skate the tightrope that's there while still being honest to myself and honest to the material. So if you see any kind of short little video that pops up, just trying to throw you over to Rumble if you're an exclusive YouTube watcher, just let you know that that's probably the way that I'm going to be moving forward, at the recommendation of somebody who knows this game a lot better than I do. So yeah, still going to be talking about it, still going to be pursuing the truth, but For the people that aren't necessarily all that receptive, who more or less just kind of align with, BoomerCon takes, I understand. You're here for a multitude of other things, and that's why I like to talk about so many other things as well on a daily basis. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will be back to regular scheduled programming tomorrow, and you might see that little change implemented, but we'll have to see on that. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.